By now on our trip, we have had a great time in Istanbul, we made things work in Cappadocia, and we had a magical time in Pamukkale and passed by the Ephesus ruins as well. Now it was time to head to the Turkish Riviera. Since we didn't know that we could take a local bus straight from Selçuk to Izmir, we got a Flixbus from Kusadasi, where we got with a local bus from Selçuk. Though we left with plenty of time, due to the holiday traffic, we barely made it to our second bus in time. We then had to wait in Izmir for hours because the bus broke down on the road. We finally arrived at the hostel around 6:30 a.m. and the hostel had really great facilities, but was kind of far away from the city center. So we took the local bus to the city center to have lunch. We then took another bus to the most famous beach in Turkey, passing by the funicular, and we got in a traffic jam as we arrived at the beach, which doesn't predict much good. Part of Olüdeniz Beach is free to enter, but the Blue Lagoon at the end requires a small entry fee. We walked along the path instead of through the sand, which was nice, but we realized that the place was much too busy for us. Definitely come early if you can. I would have loved to go for a morning kayak here, which only costs 200 lira per person. Because of the stunning blue water of this lagoon and beach, this is the most popular place in Turkey to do paragliding. We did this in Pamukkale already at a fraction of the price. There are lots of water sports and even a Starbucks at the beach. It was way too busy because of the holiday, so after chilling for a bit, we got another bus to Kayaköy. It was a bit tricky to find the entrance before when there weren't any people, but this is it. What better place to escape the crowds than an actual ghost town? We have just come to Kayaköy, which is the Greek ghost town. Once upon a time, there were Greek settlements on the coast of Turkey and Turkish settlements on the Greek islands. And when the Ottomans came into conflict with the Greek, they decided that all the Greek had to leave Turkey and all the Turkish people had to come back. Some people didn't want to leave their hometown here, so they were killed or, things happened to them. And now the Turkish are said to be scared of the ghosts of the Greeks that still roam around here. It is so cool to see how nature has kind of reclaimed this whole town. You can see the trees just growing absolutely everywhere in between the houses. It is so cool to see. The smell of the figs in the air is just... Zara, what's your recommendation?
Please be aware of not doing this on flip-flops because you might injure yourself.
Wouldn't be the first time she injures herself, would it? No, it wouldn't. No. Of course, we had to come across a woman selling her homemade jewelry using the pits or the seeds of olives and so much more. And we got some matching bracelets. And Zara got this chain for her sunglasses as well. I mean, we just really wanted to support her because she is sitting there with homemade stuff. You can see that every single piece is kind of different, and we would rather support her because we were already saying we maybe want a matching bracelet from the trip. So yeah, it was just meant to be. We hopped back in the bus, tapped our cards, and arrived back in town just in time for the sunset. Right above the city center of Fethiye, you can find more of these rock houses. This looks like a mini Petra. You can visit it for €3, but I doubt you can go inside, and you can just see it from here as well. And now, as we are a bit higher up, we can see the whole city as the sun is setting. Now we are going to go for a stroll along the waterside and just go and maybe do some more shopping. We descended into downtown Fethiye, which had lots of cool bars. We walked along the marina and we ended on the main square where we found a local crafts market with lots of beautiful products. We discovered the covered fish market, which doubles as a restaurant, but we decided to go for a restaurant that was full of locals. It is named Mulberry Tree, and we loved the food so much. We got the bus back and walked to the hostel with what we thought was the hostel cat, but it wasn't. Good morning, guys. Today we are going to visit the second largest canyon in Europe, which is the Saklikent Gorge. We are going on a day tour with the Tourmania guides, and I'm so excited. We are going to a waterfall, we are going inside the canyon, and so much more is going to happen today. So join us on our very potentially wet day. We were picked up at the hostel and first taken to their office where they sold water shoes, and we got a briefing. We wouldn't be doing the water fights since it's only April, and right away we regretted going with the Jeep because it was still so cold and super windy. We stopped at a gas station where we got some breakfast snacks and then arrived at our first stop of the day. They tried to sell us extra activities from ziplining to ATV driving and tubing, which we had all done before. We didn't have the best experience on the quad bike in Cappadocia. Our first stop of the day is the waterfall. So now we are walking kind of through the water all the way up until the waterfall. Zara is a bit behind because she didn't bring water shoes and she didn't buy them. She thought she could rent them, but you need cash to rent them, and we are super low on cash. She's behind quite a bit because obviously you are walking on rocks, which isn't very comfortable. Yeah. There it is, guys. Let's go have a look. I could not believe that we had the waterfall all to ourselves, but this wouldn't last long as another group came right behind us. I then went back to get Zara and convince her to come to the waterfall because she had given up along the way. Okay, we ended up making it back. We ended up doing the thing where you walk a bit and then you throw back the sandals and then the other one walks for a bit because it was just not very enjoyable on the little rocks. So yeah, we ended up just sharing the sandals, and Zara left her flip-flops or like her Birkenstocks along the side because there was no one else, and we came back and someone who had come after us was wearing them through the water.
And the whole point of me leaving them there was so they wouldn't get wet, and now they're soaked. So the whole purpose of leaving them there was just for nothing now.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, lesson learned. Now we will be back just in time for our lunch. Ooh. After an amazing trout, which was included in the tour, we set off again to our next stop of the day. We had to pay the entrance into the Saklikent Gorge in cash, and then we went in to go and explore. This is much colder. Let's see Zara's reaction. I cannot believe I made it past there. I went all the way there. You can see the people struggling. It is so ice cold. I'm actually shivering holding the phone. But yeah, I made it into the gorge, and the rest of the path is going to be on foot. The color of the water is just insanely beautiful. Once again, it was super crowded because of the Turkish holidays, which made it much harder to enjoy the natural beauty of the place, especially with people walking around smoking. However, being a tourist, you can't complain about tourists. We still tried our best to take in the grandeur of the canyon. We tried to go as far as we could, but people just kept coming. After leaving, one person of the group had booked the tubing. Although it didn't seem to last long and can't have been more than a kilometer, the scenery is still stunning. The last stop was the mud bath, which looked too questionable to our liking, so we didn't try it. There are a few really cute cafes around here, but we made our way back to the city. Back in the Jeep, it wasn't as cold as it was in the morning anymore, but still very windy. In the evening, we went back to the mulberry tree, where we had another incredible meal. The shrimp were to die for. We then got on a 3-hour bus to Antalya. If you are curious to see the rest of the videos and adventures, then definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of the next videos. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!